Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome once again to yet another episode of our series wherein we are looking into the compilation of Imaam Annawawee known as Ahaadeeth of Imaam, the 40 Ahadith compiled by Imaam Annawawee. Imaam Annawawee's full name was Abu Zakaria Muhyiddin Yahya ibn Sharaf Annawawee. He was indeed a great scholar whose life was full of lessons that we can derive benefit from. I would want us some other time to look at the biography of Imaam Annawawee so that we can appreciate the man behind this great compilation of the 40 Ahadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Imaam Annawawee was a beacon of guidance and was unanimously accepted and praised by the scholars of his time, even those that came after him. He had distinctive, commendable qualities as a person, and scholars have written that people as far as the East and the West have borne testimony to his virtue and knowledge, his good character, his piety, and honesty that stood against even the kings and the judges of the time. He was fearless in addressing those in power and admonished those in authority when they were unjust and cruel or exceeded the limits of the Sharia. Imaam Annawawee was once summoned by one of the kings of the time, and he was told to sign a document which was passing a verdict, in which there was a verdict or a ruling that was legalizing something that was haram in Islamic law. Imaam Annawawee blatantly and openly refused. The king became very angry and furious and told his subordinates to strip Imaam Annawawee of his rank. And the people say to the king, "Oh king, this man has no rank that we can strip him off." And the king could not just let it go. He said, "Okay, remove this person from his dwelling or remove this person from his home and raise it to the ground." The people also say to the king, "Oh king, this man, he has no home. He lives in Darul Hadith in a small room." The king, as if that was not enough, he said, "Then take away the wealth and riches of this person. Seize his wealth and riches." And the people said again to the king that, "Oh king, this man, he has no money and owns nothing. There is nothing to take away from him." And so it is said that that person who owns nothing, nothing can own him. Imaam Annawawee was a great scholar par excellence. His asceticism, his simplicity was beyond any imagination from among the people of our time, given his rank and his status. He had the goal of the Akhirah, the hereafter, in front of him. And he clearly understood that we are all travelers on this journey from dunya, which is fania, which is transient. We are just passing through towards the Akhirah, which is everlasting and eternal. And therefore, he mentioned that the essence of the choice of Ahaadeeth in one of his greatest compilation, which is known as Riyadus Salihin, a very much celebrated hadith compilation book, which is centered around the theme of Tazkiyatun Nafs, or Tazkiyah al-Nafs, which is purification of the self, and Tahzibul Akhlaq, which is polishing the heart for the betterment of humanity. So we can well understand what type of a person this great giant was before we can even begin looking at his great work. And inshallah, in the coming episode, we are going to begin our look at the Ahaadeeth as compiled in this great compilation of Imaam Annawawee, known as Arba'ina Hadith An-Nawawi, the fourth Ahaadeeth as compiled by Imaam Annawawee. And the first hadith that we are going to look at is the hadith that is entitled Sincerity of Intention, or the hadith that speaks on the importance of intention, as actions are judged by their intentions. Until we meet again in that coming episode, جعلنا الله وإياكم من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه وأشكركم على حسن استماعكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.